man, catching touchdowns today. We're gonna see you on some trick plays.
Hey, man, I hope so, man. I hope so. You feel me? Definitely took a lot of begging, a lot of pleading, but it's finally paid off. He finally gave me my shot, and y'all seen the results. So hopefully we can keep building from this.
Another spring for you. This is what, year 3 at Arizona State, man. For you, just how different is this spring versus your first one in Tempe?
To start off, just the mentality of being out here. You know, my first year out here, we were kind of lost as a team, coming off a 3-9 year. Went 3-9 again. Like, it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't really like a lot of good attitudes. There was a lot of individualism out here. You know what I'm saying? People just coming out here to get their work and go home. As opposed to now, we got a championship culture. You know what I'm saying? This is a true family. It's happy. The vibes are amazing. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like we're getting better. We're getting a lot better because of the environment we produced.
That pool day yesterday that you guys had, just what was that like? Obviously having an off day where there's so much going on with college football, with spring ball. What was it like just to take a day with coach and the guys and just enjoy each other's company?
No, it was great. It was phenomenal. He actually gave us Easter off so we can go home to our families. So to be able to go home, see our families, and then come back and have the same type of function with our teammates and our coaches, it was fun. You know what I'm saying? We definitely had a blast.
Who won that basketball competition?
Hey man, all I'm gonna say is I won a 6-0 run. Me and my team, me, Max, and Bert, you know what I'm saying, get at us. We was running the court.
Oh, my goodness. How the Lizards doing?
They're doing great, doing phenomenal.
What's the count on them? Do we got two lizards, one snake, or like what's the count?
Oh, no, I just sold a snake, so I got one less snake now. I got 3 lizards and 4 snakes right now.
I love it. Look, in terms of you being a veteran on this defense, a leader, obviously the defense, it feels like, has had such a strong spring. A lot of that because you had so many returners coming back, been in the system a while.
Mm-hmm.
Just do you feel any pressure in terms of stepping up in a leadership role this season?
No, I don't really feel any pressure. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, my teammates, they voted me the leader last year, so I feel like this is kind of my job, to be the example and bring energy every day, you know what I'm saying, for them to feed off of. So I don't feel like it's, it's too much of a burden. I feel like it's just what I'm here to do.
How do you guys this season put an emphasis on getting to the quarterback? You, Elijah, Prince, some of these other guys. What's going to be different in terms of rushing the passer this year?
Well, we were told last year that we were great at getting to the quarterback, but we were terrible at getting him down. So this year is making sure we get him down. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like we took a different approach to pass rushing. We got a lot of different packages. We spent a lot more time pass rushing in Indy, and I think it's going to pay off.
Last question for you.
Mm-hmm.
These young guys you got out here, obviously last year you had some young bucks. Dillingham kind of said he's looking for some young guys that they can count on at some point this season.
Yeah.
What young guys have impressed you on the field and workouts and meetings?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, we got a lot of young guys. I know Lil Albert Smith, he's been turning up. Lil Joe been going crazy. Lil Corey, it's a lot of them, you know what I'm saying? We got some young guys flashing, and they're doing great. Probably gonna play some big roles for us this year.
What have you seen from some of the young bucks, whether that be some of the transfers or some of these kids that you guys had in your recruiting class, just in terms of how they performed in the spring?
Yeah, just bringing in a lot of competition. Last year was last year, just giving guys a clean slate and just giving guys an opportunity to show us through 15 practices what their contribution to Arizona State football can be. So it was a unique thing having the season that we had and being able to kind of stock the pond a little bit. So it's created a lot of competition. We've been able to get a lot of reps and still take care of some of the more experienced players coming on from last year. So that's a testament to the depth and the quality of our roster at this point. So it's exciting to be at this point, going into year 3, kind of building this program. So it's exciting.
Have you seen Keith grow from obviously his first practice out here when he was just a freshman to where he's at now being a leader on this defense?
Keith is just a high achiever. He's a guy that's a big critic of himself. He's a guy that has a lot of goals and aspirations that he wants to achieve, and he, most importantly, is humble through that process. He had a little success, last year. You don't make it to the playoffs without good cornerback play, but he wants to be an all-conference caliber performer. So we're kind of, ushering in, standards and taking things to the next level. So we're just pushing guys to kind of get to the next level. So that's kind of been our mantra this spring.
What have you seen from Nyland so far through these first 14 practices?
Yeah, Nyland is like a prototypical cornerback in his scheme. I mean, he has unreal length. He has really good bounce. He's a guy that was highly recruited. So he looks the part. There was a reason why this kid was the #1 corner in the country. So to get him, on this team with 1 year left just really adds, to that room to have a guy that's kind of like a scheme fit from a size, speed standpoint. So to just have a guy with that length in the boundary, we haven't had that length since Roe Torrance. So to have a guy like that, is going to be able to allow us to play really competitive, be fresh at that position, and, hopefully smother receivers week after week.
Last couple of recruiting classes, guys have done really well in terms of adding on the back end. Tony Lewis and Kuba, Chris Johnson, Class Johnson. A little bit of position movement for guys like Kuba and then Chris Johnson as well. What kind of goes into those decisions to be like, okay, we're going to move you from maybe a perimeter corner to maybe working with the safeties or move you to nickel?
Yeah, obviously recruiting, evaluation, when guys are in high school, me and Coach Ward was on the same page that these guys can play corner, but there's position flexibility. These guys can kind of play in the box. One guy can play free, one guy can play strong. Tony's kind of even getting looks at nickel. So when you have football players that have position flexibility, it gives us good problems, and good opportunities to experiment with certain guys in certain places. Montana's not only been able to play nickel, but he's gotten reps at strong and free as well. So just the more guys that have position flexibility, the better. If you recruit a guy to be a nickel and he can't play nickel, then guess what? He can't be a strong safety, he can't be a corner. So just recruit guys with the ability to play multiple positions.
Last question from me. Obviously, NFL draft just a couple of days away. I know Shamari didn't necessarily work completely under you as a nickel, as a safety, but what would be your pitch to an NFL team thinking about drafting Shamari?
I mean, Shamari's a football player. Give him a helmet and see how long he can hold on to it. But he's a guy that's going to show up every day and let his pads talk. May not be, the social butterfly, but he's a guy that's, when the pads come on under the lights, he's going to give it his all. So I'm excited to see where he, lands. We'll know, through this weekend. But, those guys are going to be reporting next week. So excited to see, those guys get a helmet and see how long they can keep it.